So in our component, we can create a different type of files. For example, .html is one of the file type in article-detail component. So we have created one HTML file with the component name. So under component, we can create one or more HTML files. So there is no limit for this HTML file. Even we can create n number of HTML files in a single component. But by default, it will execute component specific HTML file. And then inside the component, we can create the dialog. Dialog is for content creation, content authoring purpose. And seek equivalent design underscore dialog. Seek equivalent design underscore dialog. As part of the core component, I have covered this design dialog implementation. And seek equivalent edit config. Seek equivalent edit config is also one of the node we can create inside this article detail component. Not only article detail component, we can create for every component. So this will be useful to update the edit behavior of the component. So for example, whenever you drag and drop a component on page, if you want to refresh the entire page, we can add some configuration inside this edit config. And similarly, in order to enable in-place editing without opening dialog, we can edit the content by using these in-place editors. Or if you want to enable drag and drop feature, so all these features we can enable by using this edit config. So with this edit config, it won't impact on the functionality, but it will give some additional ability to the content authoring, or it will give some additional ability to store the default values into the content nodes. But there is multiple edit config nodes are available in the core component. We can refer that core component edit config in order to create newer component. So seek equivalent edit config is a node name, type is empty unstructured, and these are the different properties we can add inside the seek equivalent edit config. Seek equivalent actions. So here you can enable full screen. There is multiple options are available. You can enable by using these actions. And empty text. So let's say if the component is not having any data, we can configure this. We can display this empty text. Inherit, to inherit from the parent component. And layout. But here some of the properties are related to classic UI. I think this dialog layout won't work. Uh, yeah, this is the classic UI property. So we can't use in touch UIs because we are using the touch UI. These two properties we can't use. But in the dialog mode, yes, we can use dialog full screen mode or in place. There is multiple options are available. I'll show you. Yeah, in the CQ action, these are the different properties. Edit property, edit, annotate, and delete, insert, and copy move. So these are the different options. So when you click on component, it will show edit bar, right? Edit bar, right? In the edit bar, we can define the option by using these actions. Let's say if you want to disable delete option in the edit bar, we can handle that by using these equivalent actions. Let's create one equivalent edit config node and then add this equivalent actions. Niche portal, components, article detail, and here add equivalent edit config node. Equivalent edit config is the node. And then add the property. Equivalent actions is the property. Equivalent actions is the property, and this is a multi-value property. Multi-value property. And add the options. edit and delete, insert and copy, move. Let me add only edit option. Let me add only edit option. Click on save. Now go to the article 1 page and edit the article detail component. Article detail component. See, the delete and copy and paste and other option has been disabled. In the edit bar, only edit option is available, and remaining options are the default options. Parent parent component and convert to experience fragment and layout. These are the three default options. And the style system is enabled for this component. That's why this very symbol is displaying. And edit action is enabled. Edit action is enabled. So similarly, based on the requirement, we can enable a delete option, insert options, delete, insert. I'm enabling two more actions. Save the changes and refresh the page and check the edit bar. Check the edit bar. See, now the delete option and insert option also enabled. Even paste option also enabled, but copy is not enabled, but paste option is enabled. Paste option is enabled. And similarly, there is multiple other actions also available. Based on the requirement, we can enable or disable this edit, delete, and insert, and copy, move, and edit, annotate. Edit, annotate means you can add some comment while adding the edit. So these are the different options are available in SQL actions property. So by using this property, we can handle the options in the edit bar. Options in the edit bar. And the remaining properties are not important. Ignore it. And let's move on to the child nodes. I have added a small description here. Yeah, with this layout mode, we can enable the full screen. We can enable or disable the full screen. When you click on the dialog full screen, the entire dialog content will be displayed in the full screen. Either we can enable and disable by using this dialog layout. Yeah, the next one is drop target. Drop target. For example, if you add image component here, image component here, image component here. In this component, we can add the images by drag and dropping. Go to the image and we can drag and drop. We can drag and drop the image from image tabs to component. Image tabs to component. So this option we can enable for article details also. In the article details also, we have an image. Now, if I drag and drop the image into the article detail component, it won't accept. It won't accept. Let me drag and drop the image. See, when I drag and drop the image, it is taking as a separate image component. So I'm not able to drag and drop the images into article detail component because it is not accepting. So here my requirement is I'm able to drag and drop the images directly into my component. Directly into my component. When I drag and drop image into my article detail, it should take as article image. So that is the requirement. We can enable this drop target by adding edit config nodes. Is that okay? I think it is added inside article details. That's why I'm not able to delete. delete the image. So, but you will find out all this configuration in the core component. For example, if you want to add CQ colon drop targets node, CQ colon drop target is the child node of CQ edit config. Go to the core components and go to the image component. You will find out these default configurations. You'll find out this default configuration. Go to the core components under libs core WCM components, image and v3 image edit config. A drop target node is available. Copy this drop target node and go to article detail component, paste under edit config. Paste under edit config and expand image and update this property name. Update this property name. Property name is article image. So when you drag and drop the image into article detail component, so it will consider that image as article image. So this property is very important. And acceptable image types are GIF file, JPEG, PNG, TIFF, and SVG files. Only these image types we can drag and drop. But we can add the more image types here. Based on your requirement, we can enable few more image types. But these are default values, GIF and JPEG, PNG, TIFF, and SVG. But we can add more image types here. And these are the image properties. Keep it the default values only. Now refresh the page. Now drag and drop the image into article detail component. See, the image has been replaced. I'm able to drag and drop the images into article detail component. So those images are considered as article image because I have enabled drop target to article detail component. It gives additional flexibility to the content authors rather than opening the dialog. Opening the dialog, they can simply drag and drop the images into the component. Now it is taking image as article image. Now you can change this image at any time without opening the dialog. See, I'm able to change it. The image also changed. So this is an example of the drop target. Drop target. In place editing. In place editing. So there is a limitation for the in place editing. It will work only for the title and text only. Title and text only. The best example, go to the title component. Go to the title component. Add the title component. And click on the title component. We'll see this in place editor. In editor, you can see one pencil symbol. Click on it. So without opening the dialog, we can update the value. We can update the value without opening the dialog of the title component. Now open the dialog. You can see the latest value. So that means we are able to edit the content without opening the dialog. Without opening the dialog with the in-place editor. Click on edit and add the content again. What is adding? Basically, you should edit this entire one. I think there is an issue with this title component. There is an issue with this title component. But this title, but we can enable this in place edit only for title and text. So we can't give it for the custom property. There is a limitation for in place editing. We can edit only text and title properties only. Text and title properties only. So go to the title component, copy the in-place editor configuration. title, edit config. See, in place editing. In place editing is one of the configuration. Copy and paste into edit configs. CQ colon edit, inline editing is a node name. Let me create a new field for testing purpose. And send the value to title, default title, and save it. Refresh the page. And click on this article detail. You can see this inline editor. Now it is enabled. Click on it and enter the value. Default title value and open it. Scroll down, but it is not generating. I think there is an issue with this configuration. Even it is not working the out of box component also. But this is one of the example. We can edit the content without opening the dialog. Without opening the dialog, we can edit the content with these in-place editors. Okay, I think the values are not updating. Editor type title, in-place editor. Why is this title? Okay, I think the data is not storing into the content node. I think there is an issue with this editor, but this is just an example only. At a time, we can enable only one field for in-place editor. Let's say if there is an important field, we can enable in-place editor to that field. Edit and enter the data here. Without opening dialog, we can edit the content. So by using CQ form parameters, we can store the default values. We can store the default values by using form parameters. So basically when you drag and drop a component, so if you want to store any default data into the content node, we can use these form parameters. Let me check the example in the core component. I think it is available in the image only. This is apps. Not the right one. Okay, let's use this listener. So listener is also one of the edit config functionality. Edit config functionality. So we can add at edit config node, paste it. So these are the different actions. After child delete, after child insert, after child move. So these are different actions. But these actions are required only for the containers. Let me remove these properties. Let's use these actions. Before delete, these are the different events. Before delete and before edit, before copy and before move, before insert, before child insert, after delete, after edit, after copy, after insert, after move, and after child insert. If you want to execute any JavaScript function on these events, we can use SQL listeners. SQL listeners. So for example, if you want to execute one JavaScript function after insert, means after adding new component. So you can use this after insert and then directly we can write the JavaScript function. Directly we can write the JavaScript function. For example, after insert is an action and then copy paste this JavaScript function. Let me add simple alert. Save the changes. Either you can use customized JavaScript function after insert, or else there are some out-of-box JavaScript functions are available. We can call that function directly by using that JavaScript class name and method name. For example, here after child delete, it will execute this method. So this is one of the out-of-box method. So this method will execute. This method will execute. And there is multiple out-of-box methods are available. Those methods are the JavaScript methods. We can execute those methods based on these events. The best example is after insert. I'm executing one JavaScript function whenever I drag and drop a article detail component. See, component is inserted, is alert is displaying. Because we are listening after insert. After insert is one of the event. That event will trigger whenever you drag and drop this article detail component. And then it executing this JavaScript function. This is one custom JavaScript function we have implemented. And it is simply returning one alert. Component is inserted is an alert. Or else we can use out-of-box functionalities. There is multiple out-of-box functionalities are available to refresh the page also. For example, go to the teaser, CQ edit config, drop target, and it. All of child inserts only. Page for the page refresh also there is a method. You have to use that method in order to refresh the entire page whenever you insert a new component. Hmm. We don't have an example in the core component, but we'll find out those methods even in web also. You can easily search and find out the method names. But these are the some of the example. After child delete is one of the JavaScript function. This function will execute whenever you add a new child component inside this article inside article detail component. And similarly, we can create CQ parameters, CQ equivalent parameters also, form parameters also one of the child node. One of the child node. Set the value photo the dialog. Let me check this node. It's difficult to remember all the properties and nodes and try to use the nodes from the apps, either apps or libs core components. Not used anywhere. Okay, I couldn't find any example, but you can try. So SIG equivalent form parameters is the node, and this is the property name. Photo slash primary is the property name. Okay, sorry. This is the property name is the property name, and this is the value. Let's try this one. Let's say whenever you drag and drop, and you would like to add one property, you would like to add one property. That property name is article title. Article title is the property name, and value is default article title from form parameters. Save the changes. So this property should be add to the content node whenever you drag and drop article detail component. Whenever you drag and drop article detail component, it should add this property with its default value. If you don't add the properties here, it won't add as a default values. Now drag and drop the article detail component. Check whether the article title is adding as default or not. My bad, is not working. Refresh once and try again. Yeah, it is working. Default article title from the form parameter. Open the dialog. Even the dialog also it will populate. Even the dialog also it is populating. So this is how we can set the default values in the content node. In the content node, when you drag and drop a component into the page editor. Go to this page and go to the content node, you will find the default values. Expand article title, these are content and root and container, and there is multiple article title components are available. Check this article title. So we did not add this property through the dialog. Still, this property is adding into the content node because of the equivalent form parameters. So it is adding into the content node. And, and that's all about the edit configs. Let me know if you have any questions. Any questions in edit configs?